I'm Chloe.
I'm Jenna.
I'm Ben.
And today we're going to talk about building a cannon that can fire a projectile effectively, which means the farthest across the most distance.
To build this cannon, we need 2 tennis ball cans with top, scissors, and an 18-inch piece of tape.
For the angle of trajectory of the cannon, which is one of the more important parts that we need to know for our design, I was able to test through the 2 simulations that Mr. Kelly gave us that 45 degrees, no matter the starting velocity, would be the most would be the angle to give the most distance out of all of the other angles available.
He knows what he's talking about. So with that information, we are able to draw blueprints for what this cannon will most likely look like. And with the materials that we have, we can at least construct a simple design that it can most probably be. So with our 2 tennis ball cans, how are we going to use them?
Well, first of all, one of them is going to have to be sort of the barrel of the cannon. It's going to have to be at the 45-degree angle, and it's going to have to have the foam ball to launch. And
that's hard.
That's going to be
about that.
Yeah. Okay. That's one of the tennis ball cans, and then the other tennis ball can be used to like prop up the other one and keep it at the 45 degree angle.
So 45 degrees, that's the one that will fire the furthest.
Yes. Yeah. And
we're sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. So we need like a projector.
It doesn't have to be exact.
Exactly. Well, we'll figure it out. So how do we apply the pressure to it for it to launch?
How do we apply? Well, we have the ethanol.
That's right. That's
and then there's the ethanol reaction, and I guess we're going to cut to Scott now and have him mention that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our friend Scott is he's not here right now.
Alright, and today we'll be explaining the combustion reaction for ethanol. So we need high temperatures, ethanol, and oxygen for everything, which you need for every combustion reaction. And use carbon dioxide and water and heat. And the reaction is balanced because you have 2 C's, 6 H's, 1 O here, and 6 O's here. Then you have 2 C's. You have a total of you have 2 O's, 3 H's, and 6 H's and 3 O's here, which will end up balancing the equation with 7 O's on each side, 6 H's on each side, 2 C's and 2 C's on each side. So the reaction is balanced.
Simple design.
Yeah.
How is the ethanol going to be used?
Well, the ethanol is going to be, I believe how it's going to work is the ethanol is already in there, and then the foam ball gets put on, and then there's I'm pretty sure there has to be heat applied to it.
Oh, that's right, the spark.
Right, so there have to be like a match or something dropped in there.
I remember one of the videos we saw, the spark.
Yeah. So, and then that'll cause the ethanol to ignite.
A reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. So, alright, I was just wondering if there's like a pressure pattern here. So, on our blueprint, we basically just need to draw a simple design that we can use and just assume the barrel is pointed at 45 degrees.
Right.
So, the cans are like cylindrical, right?
Yeah, they're cylindrical.
Okay, so one we can use as a barrel, which will be easy. The thing that we need to figure out is how wide it needs to be for the foam ball to fit.
Well, we don't really have any choice in that. It just is what it is.
Yeah, it's given to us this time.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, if it's, well, if it needs to be larger, obviously you can't do that. But
Right.
if it needs to be smaller, we can like cut it. And,
It's not going to need to be smaller because, as we've seen from other previous images of cannons, the foam ball barely fits into the end of the cannon, so we won't need to make the barrel any smaller.
Okay, so then assuming that it'll be able to fit, how would we cut the second one to form sort of like a base?
Well, first of all, I guess I'm going to draw it here. I'll show it on the camera. We're going to have here's our barrel for one of them, and then the other one. It doesn't necessarily have to be all the way up here. It could be like right here, and if we cut it at the right length or whatever it is. We'll have to calculate that based off measurements, and we don't have those right now because we don't have the material. And then we just cut it so that it props it up at a 45-degree angle and tape it in place.
Alright. And what will we do with the other part of it?
What do you mean with the other part of the can?
Like the one that we cut off.
That's probably just going to be scrap that we don't need.
Or we could put it at the base right here, like to
Support it.
that. And would we need somewhere to contain the ethanol?
Well, that would just be at the base of this right here. That'd be ethanol would be right down there at the bottom.
Okay.
And then
I'm just wondering if it would be more effective to store it in a base or in the barrel. So
well, I think
we just need to test that.
I think having it in the but having it in the barrel for right now is probably simpler.
Okay, well, I mean, if we find out, if otherwise it's more effective, then we can always have that part of the base.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for now, I think, we need a barrel and something to prop it up with.
Mhm.
Or we can have, this is the barrel. This is what we use to stand it up with. Which would be an elevation point, which I feel like we need to calculate in there.
Yeah, we will have to calculate it, but
How far it has to go.
well, we can only really do that once we actually have the tennis cans to know how long they are and that type of thing, because we can't just use some unknown.
Yeah, and then a base, maybe right here, with the remaining part that we could store the ethanol in. So this is kind of basically what we said, and this may or may not be optional. So okay. So what do we have planned for the well, has anyone even heard anything from Scott about the
No.
combustion?
Well, it's not very complicated. It's pretty simple.
I would think so. I think I feel like it would be kind of a parabola thing. One would fire the farthest, and then the rest would kind of decrease.
We just kind of need his equation to figure out everything out.
Well, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I guess it would be helpful.
It would be really
So, what I did some research on was about the pressure, since we have to know about the temperature, volume, and pressure. The volume, we can change that a little bit by changing the size of the barrel and stuff. There's not really anything we can do about the temperature. That's just whatever the temperature outside is and the temperature after the combustion.
I think we might have to account for the cold. I don't know when we're going to fire exactly, but
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
that would be more determined around the time, because if it's been, say it's been cold all week, like this week, we can't just determine, if we're firing on, Friday or something, then it would be, hot.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if there's even anything we can really change if it's a different
But
temperature.
it is kind of unpredictable.
Yeah.
Wilmington's weather is extremely unpredictable.
Alright, but what I really wanted to talk about was the pressure. So I did a little bit of research on having a nozzle, like a nozzle on a rocket engine almost, although not quite that complicated. So the way that it would work in a cannon like this, we would have a barrel. This would be our barrel here,
Background noise.
and then it'd be propped up by the other can right here, and it'd be taped in place, of course.
Okay.
And then we have our ethanol, and our reaction would happen down here because it's going to be pulled down by gravity, of course. And then what we can have is we can have a tennis can lid that has a hole cut in it.
Right, we have the top.
Right. A tennis can lid that has a hole cut in it, sort of like this.
I understand where you're going with this.
If you can see it in the camera, here's our barrel, and then right there is the little lid with the hole cut in it. That would act as sort of a nozzle. So I did some research on the nozzles, and I sort of came across that the area of the smallest diameter of the nozzle to the area of the part outside of the nozzle, and as in this part right here, the size of the barrel. And what I came across was that a 1:26 ratio for that area is one of the better ratios, as in it has some of the highest efficiencies. Of course, this isn't nearly the most efficient type of nozzle. It seemed to be one of the best efficiencies for all different types of nozzles. So
it's the best, probably. Isn't it like the best that we can do with all we have?
it pretty much is the best that we can do with what we have.
Right.
So a 1:26 area ratio would, I looked up the approximate diameter of a tennis can, and that was about 2.6 inches. So assuming that that's 2.6 inches, I was able to calculate that the best radius for the internal part of the nozzle would be about 0.216 inches, which makes it just less than half an inch diameter. And then
that would be the most effective range for it?
It would increase, the nozzle is there to increase the pressure, which ultimately is going to make it shoot the foam ball further.
The only thing is, sorry for interrupting, but the only thing is, would the foam ball actually fit into the nozzle?
The foam ball doesn't fit into the nozzle.
Okay, so what would
Yeah.
So what would that overall do?
Well, what it does is the reaction, and when the reaction occurs, there's going to be an expansion of gases, it's sort of explosion or whatever. And as that travels through here, up the barrel, when it reaches the nozzle, it has to get compressed, and then expand back when it gets to the other side of the nozzle. And in doing that, the pressure of the gas gets raised because it has to travel faster to get through that nozzle, which raises the pressure. And that would mean that the gas coming out, hitting the foam ball, would be at a higher pressure and traveling a little bit faster.
I see. So okay, so what I was thinking was that it was going to be up here where we fired. So you're saying it would be down here?
Yeah, see, we have our reaction take place down here, and then this is the nozzle, and then this is the rest of the barrel.
So it would be right here, maybe?
There wouldn't be a tube on the inside like that.
Oh, okay.
It would just be a little, just a lid,
Just a lid.
Just the lid. It's glued in place or something, taped in place, I guess, since we don't have glue.
Okay, so knowing all that design and stuff, what do we think the gas laws that could play in this?
Well, as I was saying, the temperature we don't really have much control over, as I said before.
Right.
The only thing that we have control over is volume and pressure, and which is what I just sort of talked about here. because like I said, it speeds up the gas and increases the pressure because it forces it through the smaller space, and that'll help launch the ball further.
So what law was that then? Maybe,
Wouldn't it be like, because we have to
it's
make
not
sure-
Gauss action, it's not
Isn't it?
Boyle, it's the
No,
other one.
isn't it because we have the three of them? So it would be like PV over T.
Well, I mean, I guess,
That's combined, but we don't have to.
I guess the only one that we could really, I mean, this doesn't directly apply to any of the gas laws, but what could directly apply to all the gas laws would be the pressure over volume,
Okay.
because we do have to manage both pressure and volume.
Oh, Charles Law.
Yeah.
That's what
So,
okay.
so,
I couldn't remember his name.
and so then, if we have, I mean, because of that, if we have a lower volume, we'd have a higher pressure, right?
Mhm.
So, to get the lower volume, we might be able to potentially like shorten the length of the barrel,
Okay.
and then there's less gas that would have to expand.
Yeah, that is true.
And then it would create a bit of...
Mhm.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
pressure.
more sense.
I could,
Yeah.
I
So-
could see this coming to life.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm just hoping what we can do is assemble it.
Yeah, and what we have is
Yeah.
enough. What we need to do.
Well, we have 18 inches of tape, and we
Yeah, that could like help it.
that will help.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we tape the can, I mean the lid, the barrel like from the sides like
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
that would kind of work. I don't know about the storage. Let's just ignore that. I don't even know if that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So, and this like that could be
Just taped on
just
that.
like
Taped
that.
on, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously the balls need to be taped, but
Yeah.
so this would be like on the ground. I mean, yeah. So what we'd have to do is adjust the size of this
Yeah.
to get it at the right angle.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Well, that shouldn't be too
It shouldn't be
difficult.
too hard. What we need is a way to measure at least approximately like how much
Yeah.
this would be, like what angle it's pointing at when we adjust it. And also, they're tin, right? What would they be made out of?
They're plastic.
They're plastic?
Yeah.
Okay, but we can't like bend them.
No.
Because I was thinking if we could bend them, we could just like kind of unfold and unfold it to get the right one. But so we need to cut it.
Yeah, but we have.
So once we cut it, we can't put it. I guess
Well,
we
we
can
can-
tape it back.
tape it
but
Yeah, we could.
just need to be
We
careful.
can cut it too long and just cut it down until we get 45 degrees.
I'm just saying we need to be careful because if we cut it too far, then we'd have to tape some back.
Yeah.
Well, if we cut it too far, we could move the supporting can closer to the base, like closer to this part here, because then it'll
It would be boosted up.
yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay. So that would be.
Right.
So either way, basically, we have a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And one other thing, the very top edge of a tennis ball can, it does have like a little tin lip on it, and then
That's right.
and that would be really sharp, and the foam ball would get caught on that.
Yeah.
So we probably would need to, I guess, cut
Yeah.
off the little.
Cut off that lid. We just have to make sure the edges are smooth. Because if the edges, like if we cut it off and the edges are jagged, we'd have the same problem.
Yeah.
Well, it still won't be as bad. It won't be nearly
True,
as
because
bad.
the lid curves. Does the lid curve like in?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why.
Yeah.
Even, I guess that's true. Like even if the edges are jagged, it would still like be this way. The
Yeah, it
foam
would-
ball would be here,
yeah.
so it wouldn't actually come into
Yeah, it
contact.
wouldn't be too bad.
You're right. So yeah, we'd have to cut off that lip, and we'd have to, because even if the foam ball got past it, it would still be fired like a lead.
Yeah.
So we'd have to cut off the lip. We'd have to adjust the boost thing.
For the right angle.
I think the nozzle is a great idea,
Mhm.
honestly. So we can do that.
I guess really the one last thing is How are we going to adjust the volume, or should we adjust the volume? Should we just leave that at a tennis can, or do you think we should make it less than a tennis can by cutting off more of the tennis can so it's a smaller barrel?
I think we would like cut off more because like it would be easier for like it would be more pressure with the gas when it goes. So it would be like if the shorter we cut it, the greater chance it would go farther because of the pressure of how hard the pressure would go to the ball. So I think cutting it a little shorter would be the best thing, I guess.
I guess then we need to figure out how much shorter we need to cut.
Well, we need to do that. I think that would be a better thing to do when we actually have the material.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually know, like, we don't have measurements right now.
Yeah.
So we don't know how long it actually is to start with.
Yeah.
So we don't know, one, if we need to shorten it, and two, how much we can.
And same problem, we don't really want to cut it too short. Or,
Yeah. And we're probably just going to use like our best judgment and see what looks right and what would make the most sense.
We'll see when we get
We'll
the
see.
material.
Yeah. And it seems like we'll have enough because we have we have one out of the two lids, one in like a part of the two cans. The tape is the main thing because really
We probably have enough tape.
I feel like we will, but it's still like we don't actually know how much we're going to need to tape this all together.
Yeah.
And we don't know exactly how much 18 inches is, even though we know it's like a lot.
Yeah, it's like 1.5 feet or so.
So I think we have enough materials. It's just the tape that we need to be
Yeah.
careful about.
I guess we do have the one lid that's unused.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Do you think there's any good usage for it?
Any relevance? Well, could there be? Is there another way? Like maybe we can make another nozzle like closer to the top. I don't know if that would have any effect on the color. It's just like an idea.
I don't think having two nozzles would give any benefit really, because while they do like increase the pressure and the speed, they sort of like have a loss in efficiency. There is some lost energy. So the more you have, the more lost energy there's going to be.
Okay.
So I think one is pretty
One
much
is the most effective.
one would be the most effective.
Okay. So does the nozzle like change the trajectory? Okay. So it'd still be 45.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could use another lid as like a gasket, sort of. Like, so there's the ball right here. I know it doesn't actually fit all the way in the barrel, but I'm drawing that.
Just
And then we cut it so it sort of squeezes in tightly into the edge, into the tennis can. And then when we put it in there, like it's just like this. I'm gonna hold this up.
Yeah.
So we have our ball. It's not a circle, but it should be a circle. And
it will be a circle.
This line here, which would be a lid, which would act sort of as a gasket, I guess, and it would prevent gas from escaping around the sides of the
I see what you're
ball.
talking about. So it'd be like kind of a liner or something.
It'd be tight against the sides of the tennis can, and it would prevent gas from escaping around it, which would prevent gas from escaping around the foam ball, or at least some gas. It's not going to be perfect, and then more gas is getting put towards pushing the ball faster out of the barrel than escaping out of the barrel.
Okay, so I guess this is a really big start.
It is a really big start, and what we really need to do is talk to Scott about it.
Yeah.
We need to get Scott involved in this because we really need the equation to like connect all this together and make it more realistic.
Because even though he's talked in this video, he's talked about it already with you, we have no idea what he just said.
No
We're going to need to consult with him on that.
Yeah.
So, tomorrow, or in the next few seconds, you guys, Scott will, hopefully we can film outside or something, and he'll join in the conversation, and we can have him verify our drawings, our blueprints, and we can have his input on these
Do you want to show this just to?
Well, he already showed his, but mine's basically the same thing.
Yeah,
It's just, so, this is the gas, and like he said, it would be like squeezed in, and then it would have to expand again. This is where it would potentially be stored, and this is how we would boost it up. So, well, apart from the potential obstacle, like the uneven ground or the tape supporting or not supporting the actual can, and like the weather and all that stuff, I think this is about as much as we can do for now, without any measurements or
Without the materials or anything.
without measurements or materials or specific calculations based upon those. I think this is the best that we can do.
Scott. I'm Ben.
I'm Chloe. I'm Jenna. Stay tuned for our next video.
Bye.
Bye.